In this video, I'm going to talk about using completing the square to convert general form of a circle to standard form of a circle. Why do we want to do this? Because in standard form, we can much more easily identify the center of the circle and the circle's radius. For this example, I'm going to use the equation x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 4y equals 12. It's not precisely in general form because we have this 12 over here instead of negative 12 on the left and a 0 over here, but it's close enough. So the first thing that I'm going to do in order to complete the square for this particular purpose, I'm going to set up a template so I know where I need to add numbers to complete the square. What you should notice here is that I've got a blank space over here that matches a blank space over here, and the same with these two right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add values in to complete the square, and I'm going to counteract that by adding the same value to the other side of the equation, which is using the addition property of equality. To complete the square for the x's, I need to take half of this term and square it. Whatever I add over here, I need to add over here. To complete the square for the y terms, I'm going to take half of this term and square it. Whatever I add over here, I must also add over here. Now I need to rewrite the perfect square trinomials as the squares of binomials. Some students might find themselves struggling a little bit to figure out what they need to put in these spots here. For this particular problem, we're going to have x minus 3 squared and y plus 2 squared. Those are the same numbers that we squared to get these values that we used to complete the square. Whatever the sign is of that b term that we take half of, we want to keep for the binomial. So this is negative 6, half of negative 6 is negative 3. This is positive 4, half of positive 4 is positive 2. Now we just need to add up the constants on the right, which adds up to 25. From the formula of standard form of a circle, we see that our center is located at 3, negative 2, and our radius is 5. So that is pretty much it. We want to make sure that we keep in mind that in the formula we have r squared, so whatever this number is, we want to take the square root of it to determine the radius, and that we have minuses in the formulas in front of the h and k. So for our x and y values of the center, it's going to be the opposite of the sign that shows up inside that perfect square binomial. So to review, the process I use for completing the square to convert general form of a circle to standard form is to rewrite the equation, leaving space to complete the squares. And then I complete the squares and add the same thing that I used to do that to the other side of the equation to maintain the equality. Then I rewrite the perfect square trinomials as the squares of binomials, and then identify the center and the radius from the standard form. I hope you found this helpful, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below.